Welcome to Silverstone Historic GP for round 4 of the iRacing British Touring Car Championship here on BSR TV with me, Chris Cohen, and joined this evening by Matt Dalton. Evening, Matt.
Evening, Chris. Evening, everybody.
And also in the pit lane this evening, Clyde Whiting. Hello, Clyde.
Good evening.
We're 3 races into what is going to be a very exciting season, I imagine, and Silverstone Historic is a little bit of a change from the usual kind of Silverstone we see running on the iRacing service. Wouldn't say it's a trickier layout, but a little bit something maybe people have to get used to that they're not expecting, Matt.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. It's a much faster layout than the old Silverstone that everybody's used to. The couple of the chicanes are missing, and to be honest with you, I actually prefer it. I think it's a real challenging one and good for racing.
How about you, Clyde? You tried this version?
Yeah, I had to go in the Carrera Cup last night. There's one really tricky sort of right-hander where you have a left sort of fairly flat out and then hard on the brakes to get round the right-hander. But I think I agree with Matt. It's faster than the normal layout and thoroughly enjoyable.
Well, last time out, Brands Hatch, we saw an impressive performance from Team Bianco, and notably 2 wins for Bianco's Adam Terry, who was a championship contender 2 seasons ago, and last season didn't do awfully, but was never really running at the front, and this surge of form seems to almost have come from nowhere. Perhaps he was practicing in the pre-season, Matt.
He wouldn't have been the only one. I would say that there's a few of these guys that take this fairly seriously and put a bit of effort into it. So,
and a new season always throws up differences in the lineup and different opponents to race against and things that these drivers might not be expecting. But is this the indication that we've been looking for, that Terry's back on form? Could he take these races tonight as well?
I think you can certainly say that he's at one with the car with the new tyre model on it. He seems to be the guy that's really benefited the most from that, definitely.
Well, you know, we saw a strong performance from the Bianco team in general, and as it stands, afraid we've got no championship graphics for you this evening. Apologies for that, but Bianco are out on top at the moment in the team standings with 520 points. That's 60 points clear of their nearest rival, eBay Motors, and 888 are there in third. But we fully expected, you know, Katz is driving once again for eBay Motors this season. He is last season's champion. We fully expected a stronger performance from them, didn't we?
Yeah, but as we say, you know, new tyre model, and it's kind of reset everybody to 0. So setups that people had from previous times aren't working. The car's handling differently. A lot of things have mixed around. So you know, it's levelled the feel off somewhat.
Well, hopefully Katz will be out in action tonight again, and Chepalevsky is one to watch as well, as he narrowly missed out on the championship last year. Chepalevsky's team, Addison Lee, didn't do quite so well, down in 10th in the standings at the moment. But at the moment, Simon Field is on top of the driver championship, 172 points, just 1 point clear of Richard Wilde, his old enemy from the previous 2 seasons. So it was a very mixed season 2 for Field, and season 3 was so much better. He almost came home in 3rd, he came home in 4th in the end, but Field still got it all to prove if he wants to stay on top, Clyde.
Yeah, but I think, as we touched on last week, this season is going to be about consistently finishing in the top 10. And Simon is on top of the championship because he had 3 finishes in the top 10. Adam Terry wins 2 races, has a shocker in the 3rd one, finds himself in 7th place.
Well, we've got a number of other competitive drivers out there as well. We've got Ashley Sutton, who is out on track warming up at the moment. He's one to watch. We saw a very good performance last week as well, Matt, from Jamie Rushworth from MovieGo Racing, which was a bit unexpected, but delighted to see that nonetheless.
Yep, another new guy, and it's always, like as you said, it's good to see these guys coming in and making an impact on in the league.
And it's going to be a very large grid, 54 pits available, at Silverstone, and it looks like we're going to have 44 cars start. These are kind of big, tough touring cars. I'm going to expect a little bit of rubbing.
Robinson is racing. I've been wanting to say that for years.
Well, that was your opportunity. Who would have thought PSR TV would give you that chance? You must be really privileged.
I am. Robert Duval, I'm not, though.
Well, we've got some onboard cameras for you this evening, and they are in the form of this gentleman driving for AMD, Robert Plumley, who has agreed to be our onboard cameraman. So if you want to see what's going on from his perspective at any point during any of the 3 races, and who gets its act together, but always nice to have that option, but that would mean that you miss out on the angelic voices of Matt and Clyde here. I can see that they wholeheartedly agree with my assessment. Adam Terry is out on track in the number 5 Bianco machine. Can he repeat what happened in the first 2 races last time out? And what's going to happen on the grid? Because in the Carrera Cup we saw a lot of action on the grid. Not sure if you guys have had a chance to catch up with all that action.
I didn't. I was hoping to run yesterday, but unfortunately the weather in the UK at the minute has other ideas.
It wasn't exactly a clean start in any of the 3 races we've had. I mean, most of the field got away okay, and it's important to stress 54 cars, 54 roughs, not the easiest to get off the line. Are these things probably easier to get going than the rough, Clyde?
I prefer the rough, to tell you the truth, to get it off the line. Probably not as good as it is in this. There will be accidents, but I don't expect them to be as stupid as they was last night.
Slight technical issue there. I believe we may have lost the feed for a couple of seconds, so apologies to anyone who missed out on Clyde's insights there. We're about 30 seconds towards going down to the grid as we watch Martin van Loosenoord as he gets a little out of shape on one of the warm-up laps. It's not the slowest circuit, is it? Is most of the corners are fairly high speed. We've got Luffield right at the end, which is the only hairpin map, but pretty taxing on these engines and drivers.
Yeah, it is. It's a challenging layout for sure, and it's very, very fast. And I think, as Clyde was mentioning there, the one thing I would say, having done some testing with the roof here earlier in the week, is that it's a track which perhaps doesn't suit that car very well at all. It was understeering like a pig, so I would expect these guys are having the similar sort of problems, and I think tyre management could actually be something that that really starts to play a role which we're not used to in this series.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. It seems to be that the tyres are even harder. Not physically, but the tyre wear has increased even more from what some drivers have been saying over the previous build, which will come into it.
Yeah, it's to do with temperature. The newer tyre model is different to the old one in that the car works better and the grip level increases as the temperature goes up, but of course you can then overheat the tyres as well, and especially in a high power front wheel drive car which weighs a ton.
And drivers just making their way down to the grid now. We're going to have a good view of these guys as they go through turn 1 for the first time.
Stefan Hoog stuck it on pole. That's fair play.
Well, the lights are about to go on. 9 laps from Silverstone Historic. Stefan Hoog will lead the field away in the Bianco machine on the left hand side of your picture as the cars get underway. Can Hoog maintain the lead though? Another Bianco lead is on the cards all the way all the way through this season so far. They've been impressive. There's and a move there. Is that David Wright from the Pertec just trying to get down the inside there as all the move he goes get. Oh, we've got a roller. Someone's rolling off the track. It's one of the rock stars, RCIB, I think, is it?
Couldn't tell you from this angle, but David Wright showing all the subtlety of a sledgehammer to the brain on the start there. So normal service is resumed.
Well, Hoog has it. From Ashley Sutton, I believe, in second place there. Timing information seems to have gone awry, but never mind. So Stefan Hoog. Oh, there's one of the AMDs off in the background as well, spinning round. Was that Saltalamacchia or was that Plumley?
Yes.
One of the
I'll
two.
tell you it was Tim Mawson who did the triple Falco.
Ah, okay. Unfortunate for Mawson. It was a very tight grid, a lot of cars to get down to turn one. I was hoping everyone would make it, but obviously not. Hoog, Sutton, Hall, Adam Terry in 4th, and Simon Field in 5th place. So 2 of the top 4 places at the moment being taken by Bianco. That could all change, of course. We've got 9 laps to come here. Chepalevsky down in 9th. It says 8th there. Is it 8th or 9th? One of the two. Probably 8th.
You're right, making a move on Simon Field there, and Simon will have perhaps wisely got out of that one.
So David Wright in the Pertec machine there. He has got Simon Field just behind him, and Adrian Holm, who finished very impressively last time out, didn't he? And Holm in 7th at the moment, not too far from the front himself. Sutton will be looking for a way past Stefan Hoog up front, though, Matt.
Yeah, I've seen Ashley is one of the guys who's good at getting past with this car as well, but Hoog looks like he's perhaps got the legs on him a little bit at the moment. Of course, Ashley Sutton will be quite comfy there. He's got his teammate behind him, so he knows he's going to be he's not going to be under a massive amount of threat.
It looks like as we come into the Maggots-Beckett's complex, Sutton a lot faster on the entry to that section. What's going on further down the field, Clyde?
I'm just watching Andreas Katz at the moment, last year's champion, currently running in 35th.
So that sounds like a back of the grid start to me. Perhaps Katz didn't manage to set a qualifying time?
Yeah, I think that was the problem.
So he's got it all to do now in the number 1 car, of course, because he is champion. And just look at all those cars. Any one of those cars, potential landmine for the reigning champion as he comes down to the end of the Hangar Straight on lap 2. He's working his way through the field. I think most people will realise they have the champion behind him, and you know, will be respectful of the fact that he's probably a lot quicker than the guys running in these kind of positions. But it's all to do for Katz at the moment.
Yep, strange to see Andreas struggling this much, but as we said, this new tyre model has really jumbled the grid up, and it's Stefan Hoog who's probably the main beneficiary at the moment. David Wright passed Adam Terry as well.
David Wright up to 4th position then. Laidler currently running in 12th for CQR Fusion. He has Richard Wilde just in front of him. Chepalevsky is now in 9th, not really showing any kind of forward momentum in the field. He's got Lozenord in front of him and Field in front of him as well. Lozenord getting very very close to the back of that 888 car. Runs a little bit wide on turn 1. This could be the opportunity that Chepalevsky's looking for from 9th position to take that 8th away from Lozenord.
Change of lead. Ashley Sutton just a brilliant move on Stefan Hoog through the Maggots-Beckett's complex there.
So Sutton is in the lead, and that's number 2 showing on your screen. It's not. It's number 1. I don't know what's going on with those positions this evening, but Hoog will want that back, and he's right on the tail of Sutton now. Sutton's going to force him the long way round down the end of the Hangar Straight. Watch out for Michael Hall. He's in 3rd place just behind these two. Any mistake will open the door for him, but Sutton holds on to it. So let's go back and have a quick look at that overtaking move from Ashley Sutton.
That was that was a brilliant move.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Just coming down there, and he knew Hoog was slow from the last lap.
Yep.
Hoog just left the tiniest of gaps, and well, he was quite respectful. He could have closed the door very easily and caused an accident there, but didn't feel that was necessary. But Sutton's through. Sutton is in the lead of this race.
Now, and it's interesting the difference in setups as well. Ashley Sutton's car, a little bit twitchy on the rear end, does look like it's dancing around a little bit, but that does make him quicker through that complex. So, great move and well executed.
So Simon Field now down to 6th. This man, Adrian Holm, in the KX Momentum machine, is up to 5th position. Adam Terry, last double winner from last time out of Brands Hatch, is in 8th. And looking further down the field, it's a huge field, isn't it?
Adam Terry to drop back there then. Must have had a moment somewhere.
There's been a few bits of action going on. Stellion, for some reason, has just hit the brakes in the middle of an acceleration zone and had Richard Wilde and another car just smashed into the back of him.
So Richard Wilde now down to 21st. Well, that's not good. So did that spin Wilde out?
It certainly did, and it took Rob Fagg with him as well.
And Robert Fagg is currently showing us 35th.
I'm going to say, there's three guys
in the
we're
pits.
normally used to seeing at the front, isn't it? Me was Stefan Hoog having another look at the outside of Ashley Sutton, yeah?
No way round for Hoog on lap 4. And Sutton just has that advantage, doesn't he, going into the Maggots Beckett's complex there?
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to be Michael Hall right now, would you?
He's got the Pertec of David Wright just behind him, and then Adrian Holm is just behind him. So the top 5 all separated by about a second and a half on the track. Really close out there as we approach the halfway point in this reasonably short race. Can Holm move up from here, Clyde, do you think?
I don't see why not. We see last week he's a very, very good driver, and he looks fairly clean as well. So, yeah, I don't see why not.
And Michael Hall in a CQR machine as well, that blue and black car there, driving extremely well, qualified well, started well, and is holding on to 3rd place very well. David Wright just behind, almost kissing the back bumper of that.
Currently being bump drafted, isn't he?
He is, absolutely. And that's the view now from the back of Michael Hall's machine.
He's not afraid of making a move or two, Mr. Wright, is he? Is he our new Ander Diaz? Oh, there he goes.
Down the inside, turn 1.
Actually, that was a very good move. I've got to say, he lined that up really nicely.
Now Holm with an opportunity to get past Hall as well, and Hall's dropped 2 places. So that little bit of wasn't too aggressive, was it, from Wright? He could have easily been that one and did it quite well, as you say. And
nope.
It's let Holm through as well. Holm saw the open door and just dashed through it before Hall could close it.
It looked like Hall tried to go defensive and just overcooked it.
Yeah, he set the switch back up really nicely. That was a great move. And Stefan Hoog having another go at the outside of Ashley Sutton.
Oh, was there contact there? No. Perhaps it was just a little bit of netcode on our side, but...
it's touring cars, man. They're allowed a little bit of contact.
They are side by side, but Hoog's going to be on the outside here. Not going to find a way through there. But Sutton's not pulling away, is he?
No, he's not. And of course, the more these two squabble, as we've seen in various championships that myself and that we've been talking about the last few months, the more these two squabble up front, the more that's going to allow the guys behind them to close back up. So...
Also running very well for CQR, Russell Laidler, 10th place at the moment, and his CQR teammate, although in a slightly different CQR team, Craig Burleson, just behind in 11th. The Movie Go guys are not doing quite as well as they used to after the first 3 races. Linus Brostrom is there in 13th. I have to apologise, he does have an O in his name, which doesn't appear because it's one of those funny O's, you know, with the dots on top.
The umlaut.
Is that what it's called? I'm not sure. But they don't appear anyway in our. We don't have that character in our font, unfortunately. So he's gonna have to do without the O for this session.
Indicates that an O should be pronounced as a U.
Well, you have a go then, Linus
Brostrom.
Okay, take your word for it. Jamie Rushworth, his teammate, just behind in 14th. Is everybody gets points in these races because it is the top 60 that gets points. It's just the amount of points, obviously, that's going to be different. So the difference between winning and coming second is only 1 point. You get 60 and 59 points respectively. So Hoog won't be too bothered, will he, to win this race?
No, I think he wants to win it. He's certainly driving like he wants to win it. Of course, this, interestingly, actually, what these two are doing up front by battling is allowing the 3 behind them to catch up. They're actually in turn then fighting with each other as well, and that's allowing Martin van Loozenhoord and Simon Field and Adam Terry to close back up to him.
And how about further down? Any major developments, Clyde?
No, not really. Everybody seems to be driving fairly sensibly now.
So Richard Wilde back up to 18th place after that incident with the back of Chepalewski's car. Our alternate cameraman Robert Plumley is down in 29th at the moment. I say down, but there's 44 cars, so it's still a considerable way up the field. Holm cannot find a way past David Wright, though, and Michael Hall will be kicking himself a little bit for having dropped those 2 places. Yeah,
he will be. Quick shout on the Laura Bond fan club in
Oh, trouble.
24th.
Sorry, trouble with David Baker. He's off. I'm not sure why. Let's go back and see if we can. Maybe we can have a quick look at that one on the replay. What happened to David Baker there then?
Don't know.
So he's side by side with one of the Movie Go guys there and just loses it. I think he's just lost that on his own and makes slight contact with the barrier on the rear quarter, but should be okay to continue. Let's put him down to 20 seconds. So back to Laura Bond, as you were saying, Matt.
Yep, P24 dropped down from a P12 grid position. Should be a bit disappointed with that, but still running.
About midway through the pack at the moment.
And you're right about David Baker. He just binned that on his own, didn't he? Grabbed a handful of curb and
Home up to third.
Home manages to get past David Wright then. So great move at some point on the circuit to get past him, and he's now running in third position. Could he get even higher than this? He looks like he's challenging Hoog here. Hoog having to go defensive, but he's got a face full of Ashley Sutton. And, wow, that was close. I almost thought Home was going to dive down the inside for a moment there.
Yeah, Hoog's in that tricky spot now, and he wants to win. He's got to go aggressive to win, but he's also got to defend from third.
David Wright still right behind Adrian Home, as we've got 3 laps to go here from the Silverstone Historic GP circuit.
yeah, you just get the impression something's going to give you before the end, because these guys are all pretty quick. They're all got different areas of the track where they're strong and they're weak, and I don't fancy their chances of making it to the finish. Someone's going to throw a move somewhere.
Well, a little look down the inside from David Wright, but Home was wise to it. Didn't give up the position there. Right.
Dare we even say someone's going to throw a Burton?
I don't dare. You might dare say that. I don't dare say that. David Wright in 4th position, not 3rd. Just coming on to what will be the penultimate lap now. He's dropped off the front 3 a little bit, and there's no sign of Adrian Holmes slowing down. A little mistake there from Hoog. We can see his car just twitching there. It shouldn't make too much difference. They are line astern as we head into the little twisty section. Maggots and Beckett's here. Wright's gone off.
Oh, he's gone off.
Wright's going straight on.
Yeah, no, he will. As long as he keeps it straight there, he'll get that back. He may have to give some time up for a slowdown penalty, but
David Wright down to 6th.
That could have been much worse.
Well, that's dramatic. It could have been much worse, as you say. Not quite sure why he decided to go straight on there, or whether he did decide to go straight on.
No, I think he got a big tank slapper. I don't think he had a great deal of choice in it, to be honest. So, two positions dropped for Wright. Sutton still with the lead of this race, and that is Stefan Hoog, who's driven a pretty much flawless race, hasn't he, so far. He did get passed by Sutton with a cheeky little move into Maggots, but otherwise hasn't dropped off the pace. Still right behind, and might even go down the inside here. Having to think about it. Oh, was that a little tap from Home? Might have been a little bit of contact there, but both drivers come out of that okay. And Michael Hall now is right behind these guys. Yeah, Hoog's having to go mega defensive, and another little bump there from Adrian Home.
Wow, so 5th place for Hall has turned into 4th. He's side by side with Home now as they come on to the start-finish straight for the last time. Hall will lose out there. So Losenord, as a result of David Wright's off, has gone up to 5th place, and he's that orange dyno jet just behind there. Sutton now has a little bit of a gap, probably enough gap to survive now, because Hoog has Home right behind him. Look how wide he's squeezing Home, just trying to keep him behind as we go into this twisty section here. Well, it's close, isn't it? 1 lap to go here. What about further down, Clyde? Any developments?
No, just been having a look at last year's champion, Andreas Katz. Not really making any progress whatsoever. I don't know whether the new tyre model doesn't suit him, but he's really struggling.
Still down in 35th. Thanks for that, Clyde. Stelian Chepelevsky is still in 9th position. Field 8th. Terry is 7th now, so would be a good finish for Bianco if it stays like this. Another good.
I think Ashley Sutton's got enough of a gap here at the front that he's he's good to go as well. Adrian Holm is where the battle is. He's all over the back of Stefan Hug.
Well, let's ride on board with Adrian Holm as we come for the final time in this race, at least, around the second portion of the lap. Holm's going to have a look down the outside. Be a very difficult pass to make here. Oh, he's got his nose up inside.
Yeah.
He's got him.
Yep, got him. Stefan Hug just went too defensive there. Should have kept his line and kept the momentum up.
And because that was a right-hander, of course, the next one the left-hander. Holm had the advantage there and was able to take the position. Hall has one corner left to see if he can make any more progress here. I don't think he will. Cones flying everywhere as everyone makes their last-ditch effort to get past. But this man, Ashley Sutton, is back on top. And on top for the first time this season. Great win from Ashley Sutton, as you say. Holm comes home in second position. Does he? Yeah. Well, big off from Hug right at the end of the race there. Hug third, Michael Hall fourth, Martin van Loosenoord in fifth, David Wright sixth after that little off he had, Adam Terry seventh, Field eighth, Chepalevsky is ninth, and Russell Laidler is in 10th place.
Good race.
Bit of carnage going on. Yeah, absolutely. Clyde?
Yeah, that move at the end by Holm was absolutely fantastic.
He got the job done, didn't he? Came home in second place, which is just what KX Momentum need, but that was only his fourth British Touring Car race, so second place. Very impressive finish there for him. We have two more of these races to come this evening. The next one will be in about 10 minutes time when we'll be back on air, but before we go, I wonder if we may be able to get a very quick word with fifth place finisher Martin van Loosenoord. Martin, are you with us?
Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Great drive for Dynojet there. You must be really pleased with how you finished in that race.
Thank you. Yeah, finally. I mean, I'm practicing a lot to do this, and finally it worked out.
So that was a tough start. It was a lot of cars to get off the grid and a lot of testosterone, shall we say, going into the first few corners. But what was your strategy?
Just keep calm and try to stay in the draft of the people in front of me, and hopefully they would make some mistakes. I was just trying to keep clean.
And you saw David Wright go off the track at Maggots in front of you. What was that? Was that just a small error on his part?
Well, that was like the scariest moment of this race, because I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought he might crash into me, because that was pretty... yeah, you know.
Well, coming back on the track, he kept it in place, but you were able to nick that position from him. So, a fifth place start in the second race. Can you move up the field?
I don't know. I will try, but if I finish fifth, I'm happy.
Excellent. Well, we'll let you go prepare for the second race. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That's Martin van Loosenoord there, and it was a great finish, wasn't it? Fifth place. I'm going to assume that was a yes.
Sorry, I'm just interested. I'm trying to keep up with some of the post-race chat that the guys are having, and there's a couple of guys not overly happy. I think Stefan Hug, I think, is not too impressed with Adrian Holm for some reason. Not sure what.
Well, in the words of Bob, Stefan Hug had his rear end battered by Adrian Holm.
Yeah.
Well, we do say, don't we?
It's
touring car racing. Yep. So there is a bit of rubbing. Whether Hug felt that was a little bit excessive, perhaps. The pass we saw was clean, though.
The old South African rugby coach, wasn't it, who said, this isn't dancing. It's not a knitting contest. If there's a bit of contact, there's a bit of contact.
Well, it got home the second place in the end. Still, only 1 point lost by Hug by losing that position in the end. So it shouldn't be too important in terms of the championship, and the team championship again is going to go towards Bianco's way with a strong finish from Hug and a strong finish from Terry.
Yeah, really on form, aren't they? Terry ran well there, and a good race result for him. I think he had a little bit more pace than he showed there as well. I think he was a bit close at the front, but got caught out. David Wright, of course, one mistake. He was right up there as well. Martin van Lozenoord, great drive by him to 5th as well. Just kept his head, ran his own pace, and yeah, good race. Enjoyed that.
Well, 2 more to come like that, as we say. Another 8 minutes to go. So on the BSR TV page, you will need to tune to the second video. We'll be back at 9:30 for coverage of round 5. And I hope you can join us then. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a moment.